Hey guys, so a lot of you have asked about consent. So you know what? That's what today's video is about. Consent. Before I actually get into the video, I want to say sorry, I missed a video yesterday. Technical difficulties, blah, blah, blah. I owe you a video. June 1st will be a video. Zach said May plus June 1st. That's what this is now called. Okay, moving on. So consent is something that I feel is very, very, very important, very vital. But I feel like we've kind of lost the idea of what consent really means in today's society, especially in today's media. The easiest way to even define consent is just look up the definition. The definition for consent is the permission for something to happen or the agreement to do something. I think that in itself should answer a question, do I have consent? Do I have permission? Is there an agreement between us? If a person says no, you do not have consent. If a person says, I don't know, you don't have consent. If a person is unable to say yes or no, that is a no. If a person is inebriated or under any substance and they're not in a sound mind, that is a no. Zachary, when is consent a yes? Consent is only a yes when that person says yes. When that person says, I want to do this. When that person is both physically and mentally engaged. There seems to be this idea that if somebody is drinking or if somebody is maybe wearing a little bit less clothing, that the idea for consent is less. And it's not true. Consent is consent. You can be naked outside and drunk off your face, but those two things do not give anybody consent. Sometimes what's going on with consent might not deal with you in particular and another person. It might be to other people. And if you ever see any situation in which somebody is taking advantage of somebody else, you need to stop them. You will not be a killjoy. You will not be a jerk. You will be a hero. This idea of consent can actually start from a very, very, very early age. Now, we're talking like when a child begins to talk and begins to do things, you start to get permission. You start to ask questions. Can I hug you? Can I do this? Can I do that? You teach a kid from 1 year old up that they get to choose what happens to their body. Even like grandmother who comes and pinches the cheeks. If the kid doesn't want to be touched, you do not allow the grandmother to touch them. We need to teach our kids, our young adults, and even our adults that a personal boundary is a personal boundary. There's one thing too that I feel like isn't really talked about, that it's always been kind of a personal pet peeve of mine. The idea of being hard to get kind of bugs me because of how it's used. It's this idea of somebody literally saying, no, no, stop, no, don't, no, stop. But then if I'm told later that, oh, if you hadn't stopped, I would have been fine with that. That makes me angry because it's like, no, you told me to stop. I stopped. Those words should never be used in that context because those words have specific meanings on purpose. The only exception to this is if you and the person have a safe word so that no matter what, you could say, look, red flag or whatever it is, and that means stop. So those are my views on consent and what I feel that they should mean. Please let me know your thoughts and leave questions down below. I'll answer them in other videos and we can have a conversation downstairs. So I'll see you tomorrow and yeah, be safe.